Mom can't really watch me. She gotta go over to my family, my uncle, my aunt, my other uncle. My dad's side will take care of me. So I'm just going dropped off into all these houses, just hearing the sounds, just hearing people like you and me. So here's a little fun fact for you and for everyone that's listening. And I used to play the saxophone in marching band in middle school, and reaches out, and as soon as you could feel somebody touch you, I breathe in and wake up into the John C. Lincoln bed in downtown Phoenix, and I had my mouth wired shut because I broke every bone in my face.
Looking for real stories of real people making a difference in the Grand Canyon State? Welcome to Finding Arizona Podcast. We sit down with Arizona's inspiring entrepreneurs, creatives, and community leaders and give you a front row seat to their journeys, passions, and projects. Whether you're a local trying to find a hidden gem or just enjoy watching someone chase their dreams, Finding Arizona is your go-to place for authentic conversations with a desert twist. New episodes drop weekly, so hit subscribe and start exploring Arizona one story at a time. Welcome back, everybody, to the Finding Arizona podcast. I'm your host, Jose. And as always, we have special guests every week. And today, I would love to introduce my friend. I'm going to call him, is it Nate? It's going to be Nate, formerly known as Casket. I appreciate you coming in, and he's going to be talking to us about his journey in the music career path, just what he's been through, also just kind of like where he's at today in his musical career. So hip hop artist, please welcome AZ's very own great Nate. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Jose, for your time. And I love it waking up in Arizona. Today's weather is really good, really cloudy.
Oh, yeah. A little bit of overcast. Like, literally, I just went for a walk, and literally, it was really fun. Got to see a couple of people out walking, too. So it's one of those days where people are out enjoying the weather.
And if it's like the weather for these people on this day, oh, man, that's a great day to go walk. I like to smoke in my mornings, kind of listen to the birds chirp, kind of listen to the harmony and the sounds on the desert. It's a little bit about me. I was Casket before my car accident, which I dropped the project called Down the Wrong Road before it all happened, kind of foreshadowing and as a joke to kind of fit in.
Yeah.
I'm now known as Nat, like Nat Bug. Well, Nat Bug. Like annoying. I try to keep my music more positive, goofy, harmonic than a lot of things that I hear out nowadays, like gangster rap, drug rap. I think it's what it is, but try to give it more of a positive flavor.
Absolutely. And so one of the things I typically ask everyone is give us a little bit of your origin story, because this kind of relates back into you growing up and just the kind of personal struggles that you've already went through to kind of find and define your space in this music. So let's take it back. Let's go into the beginning. I know just being who you are, you've been a lot of places, different areas. So I'd love to just help people understand, our audience understand in that environment. I imagine music was a tying key to a lot of places that you were going to.
Well, music, sounds in general are very keen. I think we all have two ears and one mouth. I think we should do a lot of listening and then instead of talking much. Where I'm from is the place I feel like everyone wants to go visit at some point in their life. I'm from the Bronx, New York City, the city that never sleeps. So why would I dream?
Absolutely.
So that's where it started from. And if you've been to New York, so you could imagine a mass amounts of people. And as a little young kid growing up in this city, just going around from house to house, Mom can't really watch me. She gotta go over to my family, my uncle, my aunt, my other uncle. My dad's side will take care of me. So I'm just going dropped off into all these houses, just hearing the sounds, just hearing people like you and me, just living our lives, but just going to our own tunes, our own kind of harmonies. And then when we see our family, we just mesh our sounds together and it just sounds so much more beautiful. And then growing up from there, just went to Pennsylvania with my dad's side, just saw more of the gritty, grimy sounds of Philadelphia, then bouncing back to New York and Florida for it's a lot of family dynamics, a lot of places I've been, a lot of people just telling me, singing to me, kind of showing me how to be a good person.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you this, as you're traveling around and you're hearing these kind of font, like just very harmonious tones. Imagine different like other harsh noises, like you hear sirens and stuff like that, rhythms, all this sort of thing. Was there for you in this moment of like, you're going through a lot of traveling and you're going through a lot of different areas and different noises and sounds? Was there something for you, like a refuge? Was there kind of songs, or was there cassette tape? And then on top of that, I would love to ask, because you brought up your family dynamic, was there a singular individual who was like very much maybe an idol, or someone that you were like, man, I wish I could sing like them more. I wish I could be as, good at what they do harmonically, for you in your personal family, in your core family.
Yeah, and it might not make sense, but I'm gonna tell the story. So
Sure,
I love
sure.
my Uncle Chris. Uncle Chris, that's my uncle. That's
Okay.
that's that's my uncle. I love him.
Okay.
I don't ever discredit that. That's my uncle. I love him. And growing up, Eminem kind of grew up with Lose Yourself in the
Yeah.
Moment. What Eminem's What's My Name Is, kind of all that stuff. And in the
Yeah.
music video, my uncle got a haircut, kind of looks exactly like Eminem. And so
Uh,
when that music video I saw it, I
okay.
was staring at the music video and I was like, oh, is that you, Uncle Chris? That can't be my Uncle Chris right there. What?
That's
Oh
awesome.
my God, if I could do this, he could be so happy. He would be so happy, so
Yeah.
like, wow. And at that moment, I was like, yeah, that's Uncle Chris. That's you. I know that's you, even though I know it's not Uncle Chris. He's not Eminem. He's not
Yeah.
Eminem. But
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
moment, as a kid, just like, dang,
Well, like
if you could do that, I could do it too.
yeah, there's some level of like attachment when you, even if it's something that you personally, or at the time where I was just like, oh, this looks like someone I know, or even that, I would even go as far as saying it's like there we have those moments all the time and we just don't realize it. We just take it for granted. Where there are moments where we slip and we're like, "Oh, hey, that looks like that person. Hey, that's cool that they got to do that. I think I could do that." That's like the same thing happens to me when I see artists or friends who do drawings or paintings or something where it's like, "Oh, cool, like they got to do that." But it's like also it's like, "Man, I wish I could do that, or I wish maybe I could do that." And it's those inklings that we let go of for some of us. For others, like yourself, where it's like it's a source of inspiration. It's a source of motivation for you as the person who's like the family member that's like, yes, this is my way of connecting with this individual that I know will have respect and appreciation for that thing that I'm doing. And it's just a way to connect. This is just a way to want to be more connected with that individual and with other individuals. So it's really cool that you got. It's really cool that it's like you were very young at that moment, and I remember being just as young when I was into what I'm doing now, where I'm just like, before I did podcasting, I was listening to others, basically podcasts, which is like just shooting the shit, which is just like talking and people having fun, and you feel like you're a part of that conversation just by being a bystander and sitting in the room with them. So I've always wanted that feeling to continue. I've always sought out that feeling of being like a part of a conversation or a part of a group or a dynamic. So when the podcasting world came about, I was like, that's something that I want to do, or that's something that I think I will get that feeling from. So I love that you had that as a child. Like that's so cool that you had that as a child and just kind of like took it and ran with it. And I imagine your Uncle Chris would be super proud of you. Like super like, yeah, he he didn't have to do it for me. He did it for himself, and that's great. I think he would be super like, that's cool. Um,
And to add more into why I fell into sound is as moving around
yeah,
as a kid too, it's hard to just get dropped into a new area and just have friends, have kind of rapport with people, young kids. I know we're all kids at heart, but when
yeah,
you're from a different place and you just move to a different
hmm
climate, culture, it's like, oh wow. okay, I don't know
Really
how to
different.
really kind of move
Yeah.
in these realms. And that's what kind of helped push me into music as when I kept moving around
Mhm.
different states, kind of got bully chastised for being myself, even though
Yeah.
they couldn't figure out who I am. I get
Yeah.
often labeled as a white person.
Yeah.
I'm Italian, German, and Dominican. My
Okay.
dad's Dominican, my mom's Italian, German. So I have a lot of I think I have a lot of Hispanic features and white features
Yeah.
mixed in.
Yeah.
I'm a person,
Yeah.
just like you're a
Exactly.
person. So as growing up, it kind of, which is what gravitated into my new project being released right now. I'm going out in Tucson,
Hmm.
July 26th, the
Nice.
Cactus Jams Festival, kind of to perform this new project I've worked on
That's
at
awesome.
Denials Records with Joey
Yeah.
Bandino.
Great. Great.
Really good, great area, really great studio, really great vibe. Kind of the song is called Gringo
Mhm. Okay. Nice.
because I'm a
It's a
white
little,
person that's
yeah, yeah,
Hispanic.
exactly. It just
You already know.
it brings into, and again, it's like, oh, we're building up to this whole thing of like what you're doing now. And one of the things that I like to kind of really, really press on the guests is your story, however you got here. There are different pivotal points that are so beautiful and unique to you. And I love finding that out. One of the things that stands out for me is, again, your ability to, or your experience that you went from being such a traveler, being a bystander. You're a young kid, you have to travel with whoever's your guardian. But being through that experience, you have accumulated a lot of different unique sounds. Florida sound, and especially in a hip hop rap culture, it is definitely different than, let's say, Georgia, which is a state clearly right next to it. And Georgia's different than Atlanta, or different than Louisiana sound. And then you just go across in every state, you can catch a little bit of a different vibe from each one of those kind of states now, because they've had time to not only sonically progress in their own environment, but also hear and feel out some of the other sonics from all over the different states, because they've had people travel. It's just been all over the radio. We're more connected through the internet. It's just some of those things that you kind of, but you have to be able to hear it. You have to be able to experience and see it firsthand, because some of these places or some of these sounds are very unique and very seldom broadcasted on a global scale or even a US scale, that a lot of people don't understand. That, like, this is very specific to, like, I'll be honest, the boom slap in Washington DC is just like, it's a very unique sound to DC area, and just like what that entails. But it's like, you go down, you have some twang from, in going down into the southern belt, and then you move west. It's like, it's different sounds come about, and it's so uniquely defined in those regions, where someone like yourself, who is a traveler, gets to see and hear that, and then also gets to play around with them in the future. So I think it's really cool that you had that growing up, and be able to utilize that now in what you're trying to do as a performer. So give us a little bit about, like, some of your favorites as you travel along and progress as kids, some of those sounds that were uniquely to the region that were some of your favorites.
So here's a little fun fact for you and for everyone that's listening. And I used to play the saxophone in marching
Oh,
band in middle school.
cool.
So I love instruments. First of all, I love the orchestra instruments. I think my favorite instrument by far would have to be a violin.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And the just my buddy, my childhood friend Alex, who's a fitness guy, played the violin in a marching band with me, and
Yeah.
it was or in the orchestra, not the marching band, lied. But just the whole just going over to his house and hearing him play just
Yeah.
off that
So
little
great.
simple wood
Yeah.
instrument with strings, and just watching the
Uh, can't
and
get
that
it's a
just
vibe.
mesmerizing. It
Yeah.
mesmerized me. I think just sounds like that are mesmerizing.
Same. I find, so this is something I grew up with, is my dad's side of the family seems to be more of the, like, musical side. So he was definitely one of those guys that, like, you could pick up, like a tin can, and just start, like,
Just play with heart and soul.
Yeah, and then just so that kind of bled into when I was growing up. I picked up the guitar and just started, twiddling around. And he was really into guitar. My dad was like a big guitar guy, so as soon as he saw that my joy of playing, he really wanted to encourage that. So he was like, "Go, here's a very like $200 guitar. Here's go play, learn, get messy." And so I learned and I played, and I loved it because it gave me so much joy to just be able to like pick up and like figure out a song and like, just really play around with it. You can't, when you're learning how to do an instrument, the most intriguing part and joy I think anyone can get is just experimenting. Learn a song and then play around with a note or play around with a solo. It's like you progress along and you will get the enjoyment of like, oh, figuring something out and figuring out more and figuring out even more. And I agree with you. It's like the joy of some of these instruments is the simplicity, and you can get some really beautiful sounds with simplistic, instruments. And I think that's very much where you and I share a passion of like, you can get really beautiful sounds and also just enjoyment from this simplistic piece of wood or brass or percussion instrument. It's really kind of, it's
Just
intriguing.
something as simple as your voice. Your voice is an instrument that, like in the shower, you go in the shower. I feel like everyone sings in the shower.
Yeah, exactly.
I know I do. I sit there and try to sound like Beyonce. I'll try to sound like someone. I feel like it's all just in the moment of having fun, being having the flow of state of mind, and just being vulnerable. Because at the end of the day, I make music just so I could be vulnerable in a funny, kind of goofy, positive light. Because for moving around for so long, so often, I feel like I felt from myself on a personal level that I feel so isolated, that music does help me feel more comfortable. It helps me get that energy to where I need it to be to have this social conversation.
Yeah, I like that. I always say it's like for artists, you have to have this kind of introverted fuel, whether that's like your painting, your music, for me, podcasting, for others, like whatever it is, that's something that is I feel like for the artist type, it's like, it's that fuel that allows you to be out and do the things that you need to like feed that business side of like, so it's like, I do this, then I can go out and do like a bigger group setting so that I can now get one individual to come talk to me about their business. So it's like, it feeds the whole system. But the artists sometimes need that, like, you need it so that you can even just go out and be in public and be in the world. I was kind of curious, where in the timeline was for you, because I know you've probably been doing this for a long time, but like, I would love to understand, it's like, for you, what was the first real song, pen to paper, even broadcast, if you want to even go the step of like broadcasting it out into the world, where was that in the timeline of like where you were as an individual? Were you still in school? Was it just after school? What was that thing? What was that like first real like, man, this is a bop? I might be able to get some coin off of this, like something.
The first real okay, so I'll give you a couple answers to that one if you'd like it. So the first like song I kind of wrote was like a feature for my buddy in middle school, an 8th grade to 9th grade summer break kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we were going to Georgia, and he was making a quick mixtape.
Okay.
And he was like, "Yo, Nate, go hop on this like track with me. Just write something out real quick."
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, whatever." So I wrote it out real quick. He posted it on DatPiff.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody remembers that website. It used to be like the website where people would get mixtapes. That was the mixtape website.
Okay.
That was where people used to get, or one of the websites, people used to get a lot of underground music, that and LA Leakers, throwbacks, right?
That's the name that I know, the LA Leakers.
LA Leakers had that one, and the other one was DatPiff, because LA Leakers is West Coast generated. Some people might know it, New York, Connecticut, East Coast, Maine,
Yeah.
But back in where I'm from, the East Coast, New York area, it was Dat Piff. A lot of people got
Okay.
it from Dat
Got
Piff.
it. Got it.
So he posted on Dat Piff, and then we came back from summer, and then everybody from in like my school was like saying my verse, and I was like, oh my God,
That's
why is this? Why are you guys saying this? The dude's got like 8 other tracks on his mixtape. Why me?
why
And then
this
it kind of,
song? Yeah.
yeah, why? I wrote it in like 30 seconds, guys. Come on,
That's awesome.
please. He butchered me to do it. He was like, dude, I'm not gonna help you in Georgia then. I'm like, come on, your family brought me here. You can't do that
Oh,
to me.
that's
I'll do it.
awesome.
I'll do it. It was fun though.
That's,
Looking back at it, it was fun. So
I
that was
mean,
the first one.
yeah, that's
I,
like, let me just pause right there because it's like one of the things it's like you brought up is the idea of like when you're asked to do something, especially for a friend or something like that, where we're in a project, you're just like, okay, this is for a buddy. I'm gonna do it, but I'm not gonna like I don't feel confident about it. He's gonna feel just okay. Like, and so it's just one of those things where it's like you put in the effort, let's say let's 80% or something like that. But actually that 80% goes out into an environment where it's like it's just everyone and their mom just hears it. And you take that and you come back from school or you come back from summer vacation, you go back to school, the fact that like everyone's just singing your verse says a lot because this is I imagine a 3 minute song. It's like 3 minute song, and then it's just this part is your verse, and everyone's just like singing back to you. Is got to be somewhat of a joy because it's like, let's be honest, it's like you said, there's all these other songs, but they're only singing the one part to you about this. Like, so there's a level like, hey, throughout all of this, song like discography, whatever you want to call it, it's like this stands out the most to us. So that's got to be pretty fun. But on top of that, I just would like to say it's like, some of the best and brightest have gotten their first step into the world by just being a feature or just like, that's their foot in the door moment, so to speak. And so like that's why I asked, is because there's moments like that for artists, and then there's like the aha moment for the entrepreneur of like, oh man, this is an actual business. Like I can make something out of this. So it's like that's why I asked.
that was the foot in the door, the aha moment. So like I said before, I made the first project, my first kind of EP, not officially an album due to like the song durations and all that.
Yeah.
But I had the album planned out, couldn't get 3 songs cleared up, copyright clearances, which
Yeah.
is why
Yeah.
the EP. And it was Down the Wrong Road by Casket.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote this album as a story because I'm from New York and I think rap's supposed to be my story, trying to connect it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I moved out here from East Coast to Arizona, saw the first biggest thing, people drive fast, crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. I didn't understand it, but then living in the desert kind of understood it. But at the time, first making my name out here in Arizona, I went to Horizon,
Okay. Yeah.
the Huskies and all that. I think it's a serendipity right there.
Yeah.
Husky school. I'm from the States. I need a Husky dog. I think
Yep.
it's funny. God has humor. So continuing that, kind of make friends, make camaraderie, support. I made an idea, a story that I'm going down the wrong road in the car leading up to my car accident.
Okay.
So the song that really, oh wow, was Poet Diaries by Casket. And towards the end of the song, I state the bars, I'm going down the wrong path, made all the wrong paths, and then one day I lose my life in a car crash. Kind of finished out the project, like that. And then after finishing out the project, 2-3 months later,
Car
I
accident.
died in a car accident.
Now, when you bring up this car accident, I want people to help them understand how bad was it? Was the car totaled? What were your injuries? What went down that day?
So I don't remember anything from that day.
Okay.
So I'll tell you, my car accident was February 12th, 2018, which is 4 months away from my birthday, June 12th.
Yeah.
So you see the 4 there?
I do. I've
Jay-Z
seen all
dropped the album 444, Serendipity. So my car accident, like I said, I don't remember anything. The last thing I do remember was New Year's Eve going into 2018.
Okay. Wow.
So that's like 2 months and some change.
Yeah.
and
knocked you out pretty, like knocked a significant portion.
lost a lot of memories. So the last
Yeah.
thing I remember before this is drinking with my buddies celebrating New Year's.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I just remember going to sleep. And next thing you know, I'm in my 1997 all-white Buick LeSabre Custom, my second car.
Mm-hmm.
I had. And I'm driving on Saturn's rings in space.
Huh. Okay.
Just imagine just you're in the
Yeah.
1997 Buick with the leather seats, got the ashtray and the door handles, and I'm just driving in on Saturn's rings, like it's
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
road.
Yeah.
And I'm just in awe and amazement. I'm like, wow, what did I do? Did I just drink? I need to maybe go to drink more and go to sleep. It's kind
Yeah.
of cool. This is a vivid dream.
Yeah.
This is immaculate. So I'm driving and I check my blind spot to my right side. I don't know why I would do this, Jose. I'm in space. There's nothing going to be
Yeah.
in my blind
Blind
spot.
spot. Yeah.
All right. Okay. But I'm checking over and in the passenger seat sitting right next to me is Jesus.
Okay.
And in this moment, I am just in awe, amazement, and just capitulated by this presence, this entity right by me.
Yeah.
And he looks over to me and says, "Do not worry, my son. Everything's going to be okay." And reaches out. And as soon as you could feel somebody touch you, I breathe in and wake up into the John C. Lincoln bed in
Oh man.
downtown Phoenix. And
Yeah.
I had my mouth wired shut because I broke every bone in my face.
Yeah.
My right arm has rods in it, lacerated my liver. So got like a 9-inch scar. I don't know if I can show that, but
No, yeah, you're fine. But it's like, again, I go back to like, these moments of just pure mayhem and just carnage, however you want to. We've had this, our podcast, we've had people come in with traumatic experiences with like a car accident and just come out of it totally 180, like went from like almost like zero guidance purpose to 1000% purpose of life, of like just clarity in the world. And it was really unique in the sense of like, just seeing this story or hearing it firsthand from the individual of, what she went through and how she felt and how she experienced her own world. Because she was very much like a student and then went into this business of like herself, like what she wanted to do. But I just say that to go and say, having traumatic changes or having a traumatic experience can bring out some of the weirdest, but also some of the most unique stories from a person. And the fact that you had, I don't know what it says about the car, the style of car, because you remember it so unique and definite. And then also where you were in the galaxy of like, why Saturn? Why the actual rings? What does that mean to you as an individual of like being on the rings? Why the color of the car was it what it was? Why were you driving and not in the passenger seat? Like I have 1,000 questions of like why, but I will just say this. Whatever happened really made an impact on you. And I hope, and I definitely feel that right now, that experience for you provides some kind of push or momentum into who you are today and what you're going to be doing. Because I mean, I'll give everyone, like, we ask people when they come on to give us a little bit of like answer a few questions. And one of the things that you brought that I want people to share, I want you to share, is what happened to music or your talents, what it meant for you before the accident and what does it mean to you after. Because the one thing that I felt like was such a unique, which was also so powerful as is music was a refuge for you to be fit in as a individual to the environment. Now, what is it for you? and what you're trying to do in the music space?
I feel like now what I do with music is still kind of the same ambiance, same energy, same kind of wavelength, but the frequency now is I might be a little bit more higher on a
Mhm.
frequency
Yeah.
because what I try to do now is try to bring out a sound of frequency that is more comfortable,
Yeah. Yeah,
more
absolutely.
comfortable,
More you.
more me with the
Yeah,
more you could just be dumb and just be yourself in it too. You
exactly.
don't really have to worry about any kind of violence or anything like that. You don't have to worry about all the negative kind of aura to it. I'm trying to put out
Yeah.
a very good, comfortable, positive, humor fitting energy. Kind of,
So and just it went from you trying to fit in to you saying, I'm not going to fit in. This is who I am. And I will share with you who I am. And I think that is so amazing because you're giving opportunity to others to share in your experience by giving a little bit of yourself. And that's what I'm doing is, hey, come with me. I've said this 1,000 times on this podcast. I don't know everything. I'm not the most intelligent person, but I'm more than willing to share an hour or two with a person who is like yourself, someone going through the experience or even almost mastered the experience, and share with what they've learned, what they're having challenges on, what people don't expect. Because to me, I would much rather hear that from someone who's going through it and try and kind of maybe even talk it out with them, because I might find something that they might not know or the thought about in the sense of the way that their brain works, and then vice versa. I might not realize something that I'm so stuck on that it's a simple answer that because they've been through it, that they just as this is what the answer is. I, I just really wish people were more like this, because I want the world to have every bit of its unique sounds. And I feel like as AI has become more of this, let me get the algorithm that best fits everyone's ear. Like, let me pick and choose what is the best for everyone's like ears, that it's what everyone likes. And let me put it and homogenize it into this one track or this one genre. And I just feel like, well, that's not what it's about. It's about having this individual space that is uniquely to certain subsections so that they can feel at home and at peace and at comfort with the things that they're listening to or the things that they're connecting with and the people that are making those connections.
and I think it all starts with a community.
Exactly.
And I feel like with the community that we're in, we have a lot of people in this giving community. And
Yes.
I feel like the city Wiki Up, like the
Mhm.
shelter. So the Wiki
Yes.
Up, if I'm not mistaken, the definition, their origin is the shelter,
Yes.
shelter up.
Yes.
So I feel like I was looking for refuge, but now I'm trying to provide refuge. I'm trying to provide a Wiki Up place through
Mhm.
sound. I'm trying to provide an area that we can all just kind of geek out to and trying to keep it to our own wavelength, being individuals to a sound.
Mhm.
Because I feel out here, a lot of people don't really know their neighbors. A lot of
Yes.
people really are afraid, or might not be maybe afraid, might be too hot to go outside and
Yeah.
entertain the thought of your
It's
neighbors.
It's definitely different. So what you're pegging on is the first thing that I pegged on as soon as I moved back out here from the East Coast was the idea of sitting on your porch with your neighbors or your friends and just like having a neighborhood barbecue on a random Wednesday is not a thing here. You're very much inside a lot more than you are outside, on top of which your connection to your neighbors is not the same, because I don't know what it is. I feel like, and this is something that I learned from my design school. I went to school for landscape architecture, is the bad thing about Phoenix is that we've designed for you to go into your garage first. And then from your garage, you go into your house. Rather than being what it is on the East Coast is you're parked and then your system of life is leading up to the house rather than you just being, solely inside the house. It's the East Coast is really weird. It's like you have this connection to your front house that is just so uniquely different than it is here on the West Coast.
And I never even thought about it. You see how that little thing you just said right there made a big adjustment in my headspace. I'm like, wow, thinking about it now, that makes so much
Everyone's
more
garages
sense.
is the first thing that they drive into or the first thing that you see. And that's not the case in the East Coast. A lot of the
There's
times,
not as much space.
yeah, there's not as much space, but a lot of the times, if you even go to like places like Chicago where you could possibly see like a garage or like a little space, those are in the back towards the alleyway, which is a totally different environment where you start to like, I've noticed that in those places like Chicago where there are alleyways, it's like you get more of an alleyway vibe. Like you have neighbors who have garages that face out one another. Those guys are like cool with one another, or like people in the alleyway are cool with one another versus, let's say, your front of the house and like your porch and like people who are like neighbors to you on that. It's really, it's like every place has their kind of unique subcultures. It just takes some time of like getting to understand and like really see the whole city in all the seasons, because that's another thing. It's like we're hot more often than not. And whereas in the East Coast, you have environments of rain and you have environments of cold. It's like what happens in that timeline for people, like interactions, how they connect, what they do in that time period. It's like those are the types of things that people forget sometimes. It's like you're in different seasons, you're in different modes of life. And so that's some of the things that I've slowly started to realize when I was growing up here in the West Side. But I would love to now move towards, we've kind of gotten into what you did prior to your accident. Now we're kind of like reaching at now. And as you've changed your name, but also kind of your experiences, one of the things that we're going to be talking about, or you brought up, was your new latest work, and that's Hotboxing in God's House. I would love to just kind of, first, the name was really cool, but just what's the story behind it? What are your intentions with all of it? And is it fully completed? Give us the whole rundown.
Of course. So the album is Projects Nat's Eye, and with the at sign, and then high, and the high is like an acronym for Hotboxing in God's House.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole project, based off the last story I gave, I went down the wrong road. Kind of that story ended up with me dying, which is how imagine a lot of people would have taken it in that situation. Given
Did they tell you how long you were out, like dead wise, like?
I don't think it's probably in the medical record somewhere.
Yeah.
But I know from medical school knowledge, it can't be more than 7 minutes.
Yes, that's, I mean, so because people run the gamut, like they're pretty, some people are pretty proud of like how long they lasted. It was like, some people are like, oh yeah, I was dead for 5 minutes or 6 minutes. Like they kind of like, I'm like, why would you want to remember that? Or like, why would you be proud of that length of time? Like that's scary.
I don't know, and I don't want to. I just don't want to know right now. I just know I was dead, and then they resuscitated me. I flatlined like 8 or 9 times in the hospital procedures. They told my mom. Shout out to my mom, I love her. They told her that it's to book a funeral arrangement because your son has a 99.9% chance of dying, less than a 10% chance of surviving this. Wow. And then kind of overcame those odds. They told her that we really doubt that your son's gonna have cognitive ability. We doubt he's gonna walk again.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like a vegetable.
Yeah.
And then kind of bounce back over that kind of aperture and all that. Leading into like the longest time I was trying to recover.
Yeah. And
I think a lot of people fail to understand that I had to relearn how to talk. I had to relearn how to be a society person. I had to relearn how to
everything from the ground up. Yeah. Can I ask
And
you this though?
mhm,
So as you're developing everything, putting it all back in order, are you mentally like all, I guess, the clarity, like were you still like writing in your head, like coming up with lines or something? Like was there
yes and
capacity
no.
for creativity? Like that's I guess was my real question. Was there capacity to still be creative even though your body is just trying to recover?
Yes and no, because with
Okay.
someone like me, it just happens at will.
Yeah, sure.
That's why I have to write a lot of stuff down.
Hmm.
Because if I don't write, I say a lot of things at willy nilly at an hour, million miles a minute, and it just happens from the trauma. Because I have a lot of compression, a lot of
Yeah. Yeah, a
blunt
lot.
things in my head. So I say a lot of things often at once, and then I kind of have to sit there and remember
Hmm.
what did I say. So at that time period, I wasn't really trying to be creative. I just kind of went through my recovery processes,
Yeah.
moments, kind of rehabilitation, and then once I can't kind of grew out of that, reflecting back at it, I could see the creative moments there. I could see
Great.
how that
Great.
I did that kind of thing. Like I made a song on the project Green Walk. I'm trying to
Mhm.
learn how to walk again. That's what that
Nice. I
so
love that.
kind of that was one of the little things in that kind of track, kind of just symbolized like I wasn't in the moment of recovery trying to make something out
Same
of it.
thing.
I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
more
yeah.
just trying to survive.
Got it. I love
Trying
that.
to
But
figure
the
out who my friends are because a lot of them kind of outed me, backdoored me, and kind of left me out to dry. So I'm like,
man,
dang, I have just myself right now. My Jesus told me everything's gonna be okay, so I don't know what that means.
I think you knew. I think honestly, as far as in the dream state, I think you didn't know, but I think afterwards, the amount it seemed like you had some clarity, but the amount of like I think you just felt it where you just like, hey, I don't know what that meant, but I feel confident in everything's going to be all right and I don't have anything to worry about long term. Like I'll get another friend. Like I will be okay. So I imagine that all of this and this project alone was cathartic in the sense of to go through change and to have to rebuild yourself from the ground up in every sense of that. And then to say, hey, look, there were moments of creativity in this and the amount of pain and process that you had to go into this project and the amount that I imagine will be coming out of it, it's got to be somewhat of like like weight off your shoulders, correct?
Yeah, and there's a lot of weight off my shoulders, but at the same time, there's a lot of responsibility.
Sure. Yeah.
Because, for example, there's a couple of songs on the new project I wrote, like Sheep Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
During the whole chorus, the hook, I sat there and I was crying,
Mm-hmm.
crying because I like to make things that are heartfelt, that are
Yeah.
genuine heart emotions, not just a club banger. Not to
Yeah.
discredit it
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
what it is, but that's not what I make. I could make you something like that, but
Mhm.
that's not my preference. I like to sit there and write based off the emotions I feel
Yeah.
because I feel the emotions that we have are what opens up doors and connects somebody with somebody else.
I love it.
Because I had a very heartfelt, sad story that might sound sad, but I could put it and make it turn into a very positive sounding light to show people that, yeah, I went through all that misery trauma,
Yeah.
but I'm still trying to be successful and look at what I've done with it.
Absolutely. I think I think through all of this, I feel a sense of like this is a story of someone who is smart, who is empathetic, and who is definitely strong. Because again, I go back to, I mean, my own childhood of being vulnerable and teased and bullied a little bit. Just given what that entails, but then to even go even further as you progress along and you find something that kind of allows you to connect with the outside world, then to really turn into a moment of tragedy and have to rebuild yourself. There's so much strength that goes into all of those things. And you've prevailed. Like, you have not only proved the bullies wrong, your doctor's wrong. I would hope that you proved yourself a little bit of like, that 15, 14, 13-year-old that was like scared to, stand out and be silly, to the person that you are right now, where you can feel confident in saying, hey, you can not only be silly, be that, but you can do that in front of me and find yourself in a group of people who are going to say, yes, that's okay. So I would hope and imagine that in this moment right now with me, I would hope that you can have some kind of catharsis and feel okay with like the person that you've become because of all of this experience and trauma. It's okay to have these things, and it's okay to reflect on those things because it's given you this today.
I'm always okay with the person I am
It's good.
right now, but the thing with me is I don't like to settle. I could always be better than what I am now.
1% better every day. That's what I tell myself.
Maybe not even one. You could do maybe 10% better.
Yeah.
Maybe just one, just something. Any step forward is a step.
Exactly.
But sometimes taking 2 steps back is going 10 steps forward.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
So
man.
At the end of the day, I just, like what Jesus said, everything's going to be okay. I felt like what that message entails is that I have a good head on my shoulders.
Love it.
I know how to determine what is right, what is wrong, etc., etc. So just play it with the cards at hand.
All right, man. Well, I mean, hey, you're preaching to the choir, bro. Like it's one of those things where everything that you're saying is like yes, yes, yes to me and my brain. And I hope that there's a couple people out there listening that are going exactly the same. So this is the end of our conversation. I like to kick it towards goal setting. You brought up the fact that you're going to be in Tucson for an event, and if there's anything else that you're looking, I mean, maybe there's another project or a studio, something that you're trying to like get a hold of or find or trying to pursue. Now's your chance to let everyone know that kind of goal that you're trying to put out into the universe.
Perfect. So thank you so much. So right now, like I said, I'm July 25th, July 26th is when the Cactus Jams Festival is. I'm co-headlining the July 26th. Got 10, 15 minutes. Got a couple songs picked.
Nice.
Got a good little show. Other than that, I have a couple of side projects lined up with a good beat maker, producer of mine, Sleepy. Sleepy makes the beats.
Shout out.
And then I have a buddy in Connecticut who's trying to come down out here to make a bunch of slappers. Good, like, boom, boom, boom songs. So we can make, try to make some more entertainment spikes in Arizona to let people know that this is this place, a contender with everybody else, not to sleep on Arizona. I'm trying to get a lot of people out here to kind of bring their sounds, bring their flavors to one.
Mixing pot, brother. It's a melting pot of sound. Yeah, I love it.
We're in a valley. I like to call it a little bowl. I'm trying to load the bowl so we can take off and get naturally high.
I love it. Thank you so much.
High.
I really do appreciate your attitude about everything because, again, you're the kind of guy that's like, it's just, you're yourself. And I love that. That is something that I vibe with, and that's something that I can get behind. So kudos to you, and thank you again for giving us a little bit of your time. Now you can promote where they can find you on Instagram, where they can find you on social media. All of your handles is your time to let everyone know the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. So my Instagram is NatSpatChat.
Nice.
Let's keep it all simple. Try to keep it fun and have fun with it. And then the TikTok handle is Nate N8 and CR8. So Nate Creates.
Mm-hmm.
So if I keep in touch with my kind of TikTok glamours, I don't post much on there, but I'm going to work on that for you.
Perfect.
Everybody that's going to tune in. And then I like to keep it all personal with Snapchat. Who is this Nate? To kind of keep my more everyday to day life kind of flavors, kind of how I make music, kind of how I wake up and just handle everyday kind of events. Pretty much all the users. And then working on the website page now with a buddy so we could have more
Nice.
content creation,
More merch, more product.
merch, more
Yeah, I
everything.
love it. And then that's probably where they can find your events. If you're going out on tour or anything that changes, that's probably where the next step coming down the line. So I look forward to that. And for ourselves, you can hear every episode of our podcast, findingarizonapodcast.com, and everything under social media is Finding Arizona Podcast. So look us up, give us a like, subscribe, do what you got to do. And we end every conversation with the kisses, hugs, and belly rubs to our four-legged friends. We will catch you next time. Bye, y'all.
Goodbye, guys.